So hi everybody and welcome back to the Unreal Engine 5 full game tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is video 18 and in this video we talk about the game mode again. This time we want to create a parent game mode and a child game mode, but careful, a parent and a child game mode you need only if you make very complex systems or complex games where you have different game modes like game main menu game mode, gameplay game mode, or other game modes, and then you don't want to share all the functionality, or let's say you want not create all the functionality again, and so you share it in the parent class. And what I mean with that, let's make a fast diagram to understand this a little bit more in detail. So let's say you make a complex system, then you would create a parent game mode, and then you have not only one child game mode, then you would have, like I said, different child game modes. For example, main menu game mode, gameplay game mode, and whatever game mode here. And then it makes sense to create this parent game mode. And the reason for that is here in this parent game mode, we would put things like common functionality. Common functionality means instead of creating a functionality that is used here, the same is used here, the same is used here. You can see that would create, then we would create three times the same code in our code. And to avoid this, we can create, instead of 3 times the same code, we can create it in the parent class, and then they can just use the parent class to access this functionality. And then there are other things as well with inheritance, but this is so the main thing what we are doing right with the game mode. And like I said, in our little game, our little game, when we have only a parent and one child, it makes not really sense. Only for organization purposes. For example, you say I put in the parent things which I want not put in the child to organize it a little bit more, but not really. You can organize this in one game as well. Let me show this in our game mode. We have only one game mode, and you can see you can organize here as well. You would just use then, for example, like I showed you in the last video, you can organize this thing with clicking right click, and then here you have this collapse node, then make function, make a macro or something like that. Let's say I collapse the whole thing. You can see it's gone. And now I have this here in one little node, and for organization purposes, so you don't need that really. And the only real reason why you would need this child and parent game mode, like I said, is if you have different game modes. And again, a fast repetition game modes defined rules, which means you may need different rules for different places. Main menu has a different rule than, for example, the gameplay. Okay, but let's say you are really interested in making a more complex game, which means you have different game modes. So I want to show you fast how to create this parent game mode, the child game mode. And it's very easy actually. First of all, let's open up our folder, go to game, open up our game mode, right click and go to the blueprint class. Then you drop this down, go right here, game mode. And here in game mode, you select just normal, the game mode base. It is all time the game mode base, but we call this game mode base GM just parent. We just call it parent here, and then GM, for example. And then our parent game, we open this one up, we dock it, and here, like I showed here in my diagram, we will put only the functionality in which is shared between that, which means normally you would create this functionality here, here, and in our case would be this. For example, I would this load save file. Why is the load save file created in every game mode? Because remember, when we have here a game mode and we are changing level and we are assigning a new game mode, during level change, every variable is resetted, which means it's not transferred only if you are using a game instance. But then let's say you want save here files, then you call this one. You want save here files, then you call this one, and you want save here files, you call this one. So you can see we can put the save file here, for example, directly in this parent node, because we know it is called in every other game mode as well. And then instead creating them again, we creating it only one time. So we would create it here, but I skipped this creation process, and let's go on and create the per child classes. So for example, then you go here again, go you to game mode again, in your game mode section again, right click blueprint class. Oh sorry, there are two ways, and the first way, let's make the easier way, is you select your parent class, which you just called parent game mode, right click on it, and on top it says here create child blueprint class. So this is the easy way, and now this one is child GM, and let's call it child game, the child game. And how we can check this is a child, because it's very important here to note that this child game mode is actually also a normal game mode like the parent. You can see they are absolutely identical. The only difference here is how you can see that this one is really the child of this here is when you go here on the right side, and here it says parent class. Here you can check what is the parent class, and here it says from the child it says GM parent game, which means this one. And if I click on the parent game GM, the parent class is the GMode base. That was what we selected at start. That was the first way, and the other way, which I want to show you as well, there's another way how you can create this child. Let's make a child 2. And the other way, so the first way was, the easy way is just to find the parent, right click and create child, or you can right click, go to blueprint, and again right here game mode, and again select game mode base. You can see now our parent is again game mode base. It's not the parent here, it is the thing like before. We just call it GM, let's call it child 2 game. So this is my second child, and if I open this one up and we watch here on the parent class, you see, wait a minute, it is not the parent like the other child here. So, and we can change this manually. You can, this setting here, you can reparent, and you can do this. I don't know what this one is. Oh no, it's open up Visual Studio. Okay, you can do this here by clicking edit, and sorry, you click file. Of course, now it's open up Visual Studio, it lags a little bit. You click file, and then here is reparent blueprint. If you click then reparent blueprint, and then you can manually search which should be the parent. And like I said, GM parent should be my parent. You write then GM parent, I have it. And now you set this parent manually. So the difference is in our first version, let's see if this is really open. Oh yes, Visual Studio must be open now. Let's close it. It's rotating here. So let's go in. So the first version was the easy version, is automatically set, and in the second version was that you can set it with reparent. All right. So I think that's all for this one. And no, it's not all, sorry, there is something very important. Now that was just the structure here, how to create this child and this parent, but how to call functions. Like I said, we go to the parent class, and let's say here is a function, and let's say let's take this end file here, not the whole thing. I copy this one here. Let's say this is the function which every child should share. Call here, I save when I shut down event and play all data I want save in my save slot. I put this in my not child because they should just use it in my parent. And let's paste this here. Let's copy. I pasted this here. Let's compile. And if you compile, there are sometimes errors. Then right click, create variable, and then compile. And if this not works, this works sometimes not, because references have sometimes internal different settings. If this is not working, just delete the reference, make here a new reference, promote to variable, and yeah, delete first this one and then promote this variable if references are not working. All right, with that said, now you can see we are here at the parent class, and I want now that the child can call this one, because they should not create this one. So what I don't want is that I just copy this one here. That's why we made the child classes here again, right? This is not what I want, right? That one. So how we can avoid this? So to avoid this, you have to call the parent, but you can need again this node here, this event end play. So because this is just a normal game mode, it has this node event end play. For example, you realize this game mode is shutting down, but before this one is shutting down, I want call this parent class here, this event end play from the parent, because normally I would implement this here, but I don't do it. And what I do is here I right click on this one, and there is the node add call to parent function, and then here pops up this parent here, and you can see this one is just calling our node, this one here. And this section here, read this one which you need. I set it to quit because we are shutting down, and then you connect this one. And by the way, this one here is optional. What I mean with optional, you don't have to call. If you say I don't want to use this function here, just don't call it. You can just skip this one and make your own logic, or you say for example, oh, this one looks okay, but I want change here something. But let's say you want not change the parent, you can just copy this one here down, and again you skip the parent then and just put it here and implement here perhaps other things as well. If you don't want use the parent, so you don't have to use the parent. That's also very handy sometimes, and yeah, something like that. But normally if this is the general function, you would just call the parent really the base minimum. So, and you would do this for the other child as well. For example, here and play, you can see you don't want to copy this whole code again, just call the parent here, find the node and play or something like that, what was called, yeah, and then right click here, then call here the parent, set on quit, connect it, and yeah, we are now, you can see here in the diagram, every node is calling the function from here instead of creating themselves with different rule sets, because these are different game modes here. And yeah, that's it. That's actually it for this one. And if you have any questions, then ask in the comment sections again. And I wish you good luck, have fun, and like all time, never give up. Bye.